Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now with the main headlines. Shia Muslims worldwide commemorate the martyrdom anniversary of Sayyida al-Baneen alayha salam. The holy city of Karbala to host the 10th International Taratil Sajjadiya Festival. Pakistan witnessed highest number of suicide attacks this year since 2014. And Sudanese in total panic as the RCF troops move south. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from London, only on Imam Hussein TV 3. The 13th of Jumadi al-Thani marks the sorrowful martyrdom anniversary of the beloved wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen and the honourable mother of Abu al-Fadl Abbas, Sayyida al-Baneen alayhi salam. Her full name is Fatima bint Hizam, and since she was the mother of 4 children, Abu al-Fadl Abbas, Abdullah, Ja'far and Uthman, she was known as Baneen. All her children were martyred in the tragedy of Karbala, serving the cause of Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salam. Ever since Sayyida Baneen alayhi salam entered the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, she always put herself in the service of the children of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam and gave her sincere, immense love and affection to them. The words of the infallible Imams about the virtues and the honourable Abu al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam indicates the dignity and high status of the mother who raised him in the eyes of Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam ajma'in. The life of Sayyida Baneen, characterized by virtue, love and devotion for the Ahlul Bayt and struggle in the path of God, came to an end about 10 years after the tragedy of Karbala. The lady who was the wife of the martyr and the mother of the martyr and one of the messengers of Ashura departed this world for an eternal blessed abode after sacrificing everything in the way of Allah. She was buried in the Baqi' cemetery next to the tombs of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba and Fatima bint Asad alayhum salam ajma'in. The Imam Hussein Holy Shrine has revealed its readiness to host the 10th International Taratil Sajjadiya Festival in the holy city of Karbala. The head of the festival's preparatory committee, Jamal al-Din al-Shahristani, said in a statement followed by Shia Waves agency that the Holy Shrine of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam is preparing to host the 10th International Taratil Sajjadiya Festival, which will be held under the slogan, The Moral Approach and Human Rights in the Life of Imam al-Sajjad and His Heritage. Al-Shahristani added that the festival will last for 3 days and will include a theatrical performance depicting the life of Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam. He explained that the festival will include an exhibition of scientific books, historical and literary works, especially As-Sahifa Sajjadi, continuing that the festival will be held in the area between the holy shrines for 10 days, in addition to a short story competition inspired by the Imam's heritage. Al-Shahristani confirmed that the last day for submitting applications is April the 15th of 2024. Pakistan this year saw the highest number of suicide attacks across the country in a decade, in an Islamabad-based think tank said on Monday. A total of 29 suicide attacks happened over the past year, marking the highest number since 2014, the year when 30 suicide explosions were reported, according to a statistical report released by Pakistan Institute for Conflict and Security Studies, the PICCS. At least 329 people were killed and 582 others injured in suicide attacks in Pakistan in 2023. The suicide attacks rose to 93% this year from 2022, whereas the resulting fatalities and injuries surged by 226% and 101% respectively, the PICCS has said. According to the report, 15 suicide attacks were logged in 2022, leading to 101 deaths and 219 injuries. A total of 623 terrorist attacks have been reported this year, compared to the 380 in 2022, the report added. Data showed security forces bore the brunt of the attacks. About 157 security personnel were killed and 340 others were injured in the attacks, with 130 deaths and 242 injuries for civilians, the report has said. To discuss this further, we have Habib Khurrami live from Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. What factors have led to the insecurity and surge in suicide attacks in Pakistan? And has the neighboring Taliban administration played a role in the situation?
Yes, there is no doubt that 2003 is the deadly and bloody year, was the bloody year. And the main factor is this, that maybe there are many more factors, but the main factor is this, that when the government of Pakistan ended ceasefire with the Taliban or TTP, this was the main factor that happened in the last year. That's why TTP became active and more active and tried to start more attack on Pakistani civilians and Pakistani army.
What groups are the main victims of these terrorist moves, do you think?
There is no, the main, the TTP especially and related groups of this TTP like Tehrik-i-Jihad and many more groups, they are attacking both the government, law enforcement, and as well as the civilians. Even the Islamists and the more those who are the followers of Jamaat Ulama Islam and other Islamist groups, even they kill them as well, and the law enforcement personnel as well. They kill civilians and army, police, FC, whatever they get.
How can the future government of Pakistan address the growing issue?
On February, on 8 February, we have election in Pakistan. So the new government they have two ways. One is dialogue with the TTP. Another one is attacking on them and to enforce them to kill and to capture the tribal area from which is located in the north of Pakistan, especially the Pashtun areas and the tribal areas that TTP is mostly attacking from those places to the and also organize the those attacks from there to kill the law enforcement personnel and civilians, and as well as to kill the people of Pakistan. So it's there are two ways. First one is dialogue. The second one is this, that they should attack and kill them all.
That was the socialist activist from Pakistan live with us, Habib Khurrami. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Let us remind our respective viewers of today's headlines. Shia Muslims worldwide commemorate the martyrdom anniversary of Sayyidah Baneen alayhi salam. The holy city of Karbala to host the 10th International Taratil Sajjadiyya Festival. Pakistan witnessed highest number of suicide attacks this year since 2014. Also tonight, in Nigeria, at least 160 dead and 300 wounded after attacks by armed gangs. Paramilitaries known as the Rapid Support Forces, or the RSF, are causing fear and panic as they move southwards in war-torn Sudan, looting cars, tractors and homes. More details in the following report.
Since April 15, Sudan has been gripped by a war pitting Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan against his former deputy RSF commander Mohammed Hamdan Daglo. The conflict between the Sudanese army and the RSF has displaced innocent civilians, with the paramilitaries advancing towards south. The RSF, which control most of the capital, have been advancing along the motorway linking the capital to Wad Medina, taking village after village and terrorizing its inhabitants. The RSF has been accused of sexual violence, looting markets, and indiscriminate firing. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of 12,000 people and the displacement of 7.1 million. making it the world's largest displacement crisis. The United Nations Security Council has expressed concern over the intensification of violence in Sudan. On Saturday, at least 8 people were killed by RSF fighters in a village in Al Jazeera state. Witnesses told news agencies, saying they had been shot after trying to stop their looting. Just south of Khartoum, more than 500,000 people have sought shelter in Al Jazeera after the fighting overwhelmed the Sudanese capital. Activists who risked their lives to document the horrors said the RSF had set up checkpoints across the state, stopping civilians as they tried to flee and ordering them to turn back. This month, paramilitaries pressed deeper into the state and shattered one of the country's few remaining sanctuaries, forcing more than 300,000 people to flee once again, the United Nations said. Those who remain unable or unwilling to leave have found themselves in what the Red Cross has called another death trap. On Friday, the United Nations Security Council expressed concern at the intensification of violence in Sudan, while strongly condemning attacks against civilians and the extension of the conflict to areas hosting large populations of displaced persons. Reporting Hamd Rada for Shia Waves.
And now we'll continue with some short news. The Turkish Red Crescent has started a cataract surgery project for over 500 people in Somalia who otherwise could not afford the expenses of the operation. According to Turkish medical authorities, the initiative spanning the cities of Mogadishu, Galiyeko and Dalo will cover both surgery and medication expenses for cataract patients. In many African countries, including the Horn of Africa nation of Somalia, thousands of people lose their eyesight every year due to the hot weather, nutritional deficiencies and climatic conditions. In recent incidents in West Bengal, India, 3 Muslim men became targets of mob violence in separate events over the past 3 days. All 3 victims had been suspected of attempting theft, were severely beaten and succumbed to their injuries in medical centres. A suspect in the religion of Islam has been tried to properly based on evidence and testimonies. Justices can only be served if a criminal is certainly found guilty of transgression, and individuals are not allowed to take justice to their own hands. Tens of thousands of people in southern Thailand have been affected by severe flooding that has submerged roads and railways, forced schools to close and left some residents trapped in their own homes. Days of torrential rain have also caused problems at sea, with at least 7 boats sunk in the Gulf of Thailand and Andaman Sea since Friday. Authorities have warned residents in the provinces to be ready to evacuate if the floods get worse. Islam is a minority faith in Thailand, with statistics suggesting between 5 to 7% of the population are Muslim. A bomb blast claimed the life of the brother of a tribal leader in South Waziristan on Monday, Aj News reported. According to details, tribal leader Malik Alamjan was travelling with his brother on a motorcycle through Azam Warzak in Waziristan Tehsil Bermal when they were attacked by a bomb. Jan survived the bombing, but his brother was killed on the spot. Police investigations are still underway. Metal engraving, deeply rooted in North Africa and in the Middle East, gained international recognition as it joined UNESCO's Istanbul Heritage List. Local craftsmen draw inspiration from the aesthetic, religious and cultural references of the societies in creating their intricate artworks. The craft's diverse techniques trace back to the Carthaginians and reflect the blend of Islamic civilization and the Mediterranean traditions, Amazigh heritage and Far Eastern influences. While the UNESCO honor brings global attention to the beautiful and intricate world of metal engraving, these skilled artisans face challenges at home, and hope increased recognition will lead to the preservation and recall of this ancient craft. Armed groups have killed at least 160 people in central Nigeria in a series of attacks on villages, local government officials have said on Monday. The toll marked a sharp rise from the initial figure reported by the army of Sunday evening of just 16 dead in a region plagued for several years by religious and ethnic tensions. Monday Kassa, the head of the local government in Boko's Plateau State, told reporters that as many as 113 persons have been confirmed killed as Saturday's hostilities persisted to early hours of Monday. Kassa explained that armed groups locally called bandits launched well-coordinated attacks in not fewer than 20 different communities and torched houses, adding that we found more than 300 people wounded who were transferred to hospitals in Bokos, Jos and Barkin Ladi. At least 50 people also reported dead in several villages in the Barkin Ladi area, according to Dixon Cholom, a member of the state parliament. Amnesty International criticized the government after the attack, saying in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, that the Nigerian authorities have been failing to end frequent deadly attacks on rural communities of the Plateau State. Conflict has raged in northern eastern Nigeria since 2009, killing tens of thousands of people and displacing around 2 million as Boko Haram battles for supremacy with rivals linked to militant groups. Morocco announced on Monday that almost 1 million disadvantaged families would receive direct monthly assistance for the first time as of Thursday, a system unheard of in the kingdom for many years. In all, nearly 1 million families are expected to benefit. These targeted family allowances are part of a vast social reform initiated by King Mohammed in 2020. Beneficiaries will receive at least 500 dirhams, just over $51 per month, regardless of family composition, according to Prime Minister Aziz Akhwanaj. This project also includes the generalization of social security coverage for all Moroccans secluded to begin in 2021. Medical coverage has also been extended free of charge to over 10 million disadvantaged people, with the state covering the costs of their contributions. These social reforms are being deployed against a backdrop of economic slowdown and profound social disparities affecting this country of 36 million inhabitants. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our dear viewers of today's headlines. Shia Muslims worldwide commemorate the martyrdom anniversary of Sayyida al-Baneen alayhi salam. The holy city of Karbala to host the 10th International Taratil Sajjadiyya Festival. Pakistan witnessed the highest number of suicide attacks this year since 2014. Sudanese in total panic as the RCF troops move south. In Nigeria, at least 160 people dead and 300 wounded after attacks by armed gangs. And Morocco introduces direct welfare payments for 1 million disadvantaged families. You can view the latest news on Shia Waves' website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on a news agency. Contact us at the numbers at the bottom of your screen. This is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
As lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, we all have an inclination to the epitome of love. When we rejoice,